Grab your coffee cup, come spend some time. I know it's early, the start of a new day. No need to worry, it's Local Cafe. Rise and shine, baby, wake and bake. Clear out your mind, baby, just take a break. Local Cafe. Chill out with us today.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the coolest, the calmest, and the chillest show in the entire Local Live universe, or Local universe, sorry. I'm not awake yet. This is Local Cafe. I need to be drinking some coffee right now. Hope you all had an amazing day yesterday. Today is a beautiful Tuesday, February the 18th. As we all know, there was some stuff that happened yesterday, some awards given out that we'll definitely get into. But first, let's go ahead and bring in my lovely, lovely co-host, the awesome, the beautiful, and the amazing Miss Beans. How you doing, Miss Beans?
Good morning. How you doing?
I need more coffee.
I think that's everybody today. I think we got a bit of the Mondays, but on a Tuesday.
Oh, I swear. You got a case of the Tuesdays. Oh, man. So, as we always do, what you got in your cup?
Well, I have the Cafe Bustelo. Please sponsor me. And I think lately my mom has dedicated this cup to me. I think she finds it very cute, so she just keeps putting my coffee specifically in this cup.
Okay.
So we just have a little bit of Judy hops today.
Nice. I have the second phase of the Old Man Cup, and I have the Costco House Blend from Starbucks. I'm telling y'all, it's actually really good coffee. You're seeing you're a little low. Let me turn you up on my end a little bit, and we'll. All right, chat. Let me know what y'all think. Yeah. So
you can bring the mic a little bit closer too.
All right. Yeah. So I don't know what happened when I went in there this morning to like set the stream up and everything. Whenever I open up OBS, the intro plays, right, and I heard it because my headphones are on the left side because I have everything going through the headphones. The audio is coming out of my mixer, and I'm like, what the hell? So I had to deal with that. But again, I don't know what's happening now. My mic is constantly peaking in OBS. I don't know, guys. Technology hates me, hence the boomer report, as they say. So just let me know how my volume is too. And if I need to turn myself down, I'll turn myself down. But from the thumbnail, we got Dr. D joining us at some point today. That's Mrs. Bean's thing. She's going to run with that and have fun with it. Yeah. So let's go ahead and get into it, shall we?
Of course, of course. So first off, I do want to say excuse my wet hair, but at least you guys get to see how this turns into my poofy mess of a mop later on. Somebody can do like a time lapse of that, but let's get into the Daily Espresso. So let's get into the famous Big Bear Eagles, Jackie and Shadow. Today is February the 18th, 2025, and there are 17 days left until Hatch Day.
Yes, there are. Look at that. Look at that weather. I bet it's beautiful over there. I bet it feels nice. Nice little brisk, little like wind off the water. I bet it's beautiful out there. You can see it definitely snowed because you got some ice forming or some snow residue in the nest. So Hopefully all goes well and nature has its course. So we'll see what happens.
We have some lovely friends joining us this morning. I see we have Twiggy in the chat.
Ooh, Twiggy. Oh, so real quick, before we get too deep into this. Oh, for some odd reason, I'm still hearing sorry, my apologies, guys. I love the sound of eagles in my ear. So there's this Dark Leppy arc that people are talking about, that he may be just jumping up in channels and saying all these things. This is all I'm going to say to Dark Leppy if you're watching. I helped you out as much as I could. I tried to be there for you. I tried to talk to you through things. I gave you suggestions. I think me and you were good. And I also think that you understand that Locale Cafe is not a drama show. This is not about painting anybody in a bad picture. This is not about making you look like an idiot in any kind of way, not making fun of you or any of that. I hope you can wake up calmly. I hope you can drink a little bit of decaf coffee because you don't need no caffeine in you right now. And hopefully, we can bring it down a couple notches. What you think, Beans?
Maybe he should switch to some tea, some nice relaxing chamomile or something.
That's a good one.
Yeah, apparently he's been going on multiple shows. I experienced him going on Test last night. I did hear him go on, I believe, Rewind.
Okay.
Don't remember which other ones he went on, to be honest. I
So he was on Aussie. I was making breakfast this morning, which, guys, for breakfast, we had the cornbread or cornmeal pancakes, made some of those, did some pan bacon because bacon in the pan is always beautiful. And then the handy dandy scrambled egg. As I was doing that, I was, just listening to Aussie because, I like to, show support for the smaller channels, As I said, we have to stick together. And I heard it was on there. And, Twiggy and Dark Leppy, that's an interesting combo to have some conversations, let me tell you. Because, we all know Twiggy had his episode. I'm not going to call it a crash out, but he had his episode. Now, Leppy is doing whatever he needs to do, right, to make himself feel good. I heard there was rumors of a dark semi. I don't know. I don't think that'd go well for her. Just because it's a little different what happened with Leppy and her. So, yeah.
I think a lot of people would think that Dark Simi was just the way that she was acting on Locale Live, and Nice Simi was Cafe Simi. Hopefully not. I don't want her to get any more hate than she already has. I wish that she would just come back and kind of regain that image she had whenever she was on Cafe.
Definitely. But I will say,
we
though,
do have, yeah.
One thing real quick. She did herself no favors going after Kelly the way she did. I just want to put that out there. And the community is very protective of Kelly because of the perception of how Wings is to her and what we see. So people are going to be very protective of Kelly. And for her to do what she did, not a good look in the community's eyes.
That's very true. We do have a little bit of breaking news from Keemstar. He did post in announcements something about Fat Camp. I don't know if you wanted to show that. I think it lists all of the people who are invited so far to Fat Camp.
Okay. All hosts are invited to come Fat Camp. Check the host chat here on Discord for discussion. We highly recommend you not to bring boyfriends, girlfriends, wives, husbands, because there are already too many people going and not enough rooms. We have beds for everyone, but we do not have rooms, if that makes sense, right? So, for example, some rooms have 5 queen beds in them. So, as you can list down here, we got me, you. I was first. Let's go. Probably just because we're on here. But we got me, you, Grim Rastoff, Twiggy, Glammy, Pharaoh, Eric, oh my God, I'm blanking. Savage, Psycho Mom Roxy, Keem, obviously, Boogie, Wings, Becky Boop, Tina D, Kid Behind the Camera. So these are the hosts. And then we have Zayzooted, Wonder Woman, Dalish, and Airsoft Fatty, and the mod team. So
Oh, that's nice.
I really want to try to make it. I'm still working it out to try to make it because I think it'd be a blast. If I do come, I could probably only stay like 3 days at most, just because of work and wife stuff and all that. So, but I do think it'll be a blast. So, we have Miss Dee and members waiting. Is there anything you want to cover before we bring her in?
I don't think anything is too pressing to cover before Dee, so let's just bring her in. Mm-hmm.
Real quick before we get into that chat. So nobody, the guy Discord nobody, has been sending me like military and sports history, kind of like the day in history stuff that they've been sending. It's a little bit different than what they put in here. I figured he could help out. So if you guys are interested in like military and sports history along with the day in history section, please let me know. And then we can get him added into that. He's done a great job sending me some stuff, and he's putting in work. So, docket team as well. If y'all can put in chat what y'all think about that and let me know. That way we can add him and see what he can add to the team. So he just wants to help because he loves the show. So, all right, Miss Dr. D, we're going to bring you in. You're probably not going to see this section because of the lag, but thank you. Dr. D, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning. Give me one moment.
Yes, ma'am. Take your time. Take your time.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, welcome to the cafe.
Thank you. Thank you.
We always see you in chat, showing support and, all that here. So we always do appreciate that here. We try to set ourselves apart from the rest of the LCU just to give people a different taste of what the universe can bring them. So that's kind of what we're doing. So
Absolutely. It's a really chill place. And I think it's very much needed in the LCU.
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. So, Ms. Beans, the floor is yours. I'll let her inject a little bit. I don't know what kind of conversation topics you have for Dr. D, but have at it.
So we did speak a little bit about some articles that you wanted to go into. I believe that you wanted to speak about how are we overdosing mental health awareness? Can you go a little bit into that?
Yeah, so there was an article. We can most definitely share that if we need to. It was an article that kind of went on about whether or not we might be overdoing mental health awareness. While talking about mental health is really important because it reduces stigma, it encourages people to kind of seek support. It argues that maybe having too much focus on that, especially on social media, can backfire. So by having constant discussions, can kind of make people dwell on their struggles. It can even blur the lines between what normal healthy emotions are and what actual disorders are. And it can even spread misinformation. And then while public conversations, they always say, reach out to somebody, right? Public conversations, putting an X status, going on Facebook, talking about your feelings. While it's really important to let those things out, sometimes it lacks depth, right? While real personal talk, say with family members, someone that you trust, a friend, those things are much more helpful. So at the end of the article, it basically said, instead of doing these endless awareness campaigns, it just kind of suggests that we still focus on what's really important, is having a really good support system. Because that's a really good way to have meaningful connections, and it gives you healthier ways to kind of cope. So, yeah.
That's a very good point.
I got to agree with you. The one thing I will say is I'm a firm believer that people do what I like to call sympathy baiting.
Oh, definitely.
Like when they go on there and they, knock on wood, right? I don't want nothing to happen to anybody, but let's just say, hey guys, my dog just died. Just that.
Yeah.
Personally, I think part of them wants to see who reacts to that. Right. And then I think some people, they just want to or they thrive on the attention. So I don't know.
Most definitely. So I'm in my 40s. I'm 42. So I grew up on the back end of kind of the start of social media. You know what I mean? We didn't have cell phones in our hands, taking pictures and videos of things like that. And I'm really grateful for that. I do kind of feel that maybe 14, 15-year-old me probably would have hopped on some social media to like pop off. And I think that's human nature, but you got to have a really good support group, you know?
Okay.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be family. It's pick your tribe. And those are the people that you go to when you have issues, or to even share, good things. It doesn't always have to be bad. So I will kind of loop this into, this Leppy situation, which is unfortunate, right? This really solidifies that the company that you keep is really important, because I kind of feel, and if he wanted to hop on, I would gladly welcome that if it was okay with you. But sometimes when you have people chirping in your ear, they might not necessarily have your well-being in mind. And that's kind of all I'll say about that.
Give me one. Hey, chat, tag Leppy and tell him to come in here so we can have Dr. D talk to him, please. Thank you.
Yeah,
He
had choice words for me the other day, but it's, you know what? It's all love. And, even my DMs are open, but he's going through some things, it happens.
You said he had choice words for you. Was there any reasoning why he decided to direct some of this energy towards you, or was it just he was going everywhere with it?
Kind of going everywhere, but I don't recall what I had said. I could always go back and chat, but don't quote me. I think I'd asked like what was wrong or something like that, or who are you really mad at? Because it was a lot of anger. Who are you mad at? And this is, before he had gone on to live, and he called me a fat bee, and it's like, I mean, we're hanging at low hanging fruit, right? But I have thick skin. I didn't care. But honestly, like, sometimes people really feel good after letting all of that out, but then you're coming down from like that high, you know what I mean? I don't know what that's going to look like at the end.
So, you also have another article here talking about how mental health education, awareness, and stigma regarding mental illness among college students. I think it's a counterpoint to the first article that you had.
Yeah. So what this article basically talks about is how that increased knowledge and awareness can promote early detection of mental health illnesses and things like that. It's I kind of think about the people who maybe might have lost somebody to someone taking their own life, and they might have they lose somebody, and then they want to give back, right? They want to do something to honor that person. So a lot of parents will, pump money and resources into support groups and things like that. And they'll say, you know what, maybe if so-and-so had spoken up, or maybe if I had listened more, maybe. It's a lot of maybes. But this article kind of argues the first one and saying that, we have to pump all of ourselves, blood, sweat, and tears into programs like that. Let people express themselves, because you could save somebody. It's a lot of shoulda, woulda, coulda. I do appreciate both articles, but it all goes back to that tribe. You got to pick your tribe, whether that's a professional, whether that's your neighbor, your brother, your sister, anybody. Pick your tribe.
Of course. Going into that a little bit deeper. Oh, actually, there was a question that somebody had specifically on SSRIs. Do you think that they're dangerous? Somebody was asking.
I mean, so I take medication for anxiety. It helps people who it helps, and it doesn't help people that it don't help. If you talk to a lot of people that are on medication, they'll say, you know what, I had to go through like 5 or 6 different medications before I found the right one for me, even if they do. I don't knock medical intervention, but certainly I'm not going to knock someone that's like, I'm not going to put that in my body, because you're playing roulette essentially, it's good for those who want it.
I think a lot of problem too with especially medications that I've learned going through what I need to go through. There's so many side effects.
Yes.
To mental health medication. And like I'm just gonna be perfectly honest. I had, me and my wife were trying to have a baby, and I was having some issues on one of the anxiety medicines I was on because it caused not the wings like libido, but just
Yeah.
physically.
Yeah.
So we reduced that down. I'm still getting good effects, and we're good now. But
That's good.
it's just kind of one of those things, and I'm a firm believer in mental health because it's definitely helped me out because I went through some traumas, and she was my backbone and my rock, and she got me in what I needed, right? But still to this day, like I have to take sleep medicine, I have to take like nightmare medicine, and I got to take I guess a form of Zoloft because of anger issues I used to have, and like I never lashed out. Like I've gotten in fights, but like with people that actually like piss me off, not loved ones, right? But one good thing about me is I'm a big dude, so when I get angry and I get aggressive, a lot of people just back down, right? That's nothing against anybody. It's just naturally some people just do that. But I guess the one thing is with Wings, when he said he was on his SSRIs, because a lot of people want you to talk about Wings, like just be honest. And then he's getting off of them, and he's a better person because he's gotten off of the SSRIs, right? I don't know how that works as far as weaning off, because I know some medicines you have to wean off, some you can quit cold turkey. What do you think about SSRIs, and do you think that the new Wings is really a product of stopping them?
I mean, it definitely could be. I know I'm on generic Zoloft myself, and it was up during the pandemic. We basically had the rug swept from underneath us saying, hey, you know what? See your clients and do it on the phone. Create those good connections over the phone. It was really difficult. And a lot of us in the profession had a really hard time with that. And at that time, I was working adult protective services. So trying to kind of go through like elderly allegations and things like that while being on a telephone was very difficult. So long story short, I upped medication and I felt like a zombie.
Yep.
So I do kind of understand where Wings is like, I feel better having not been on them, getting off. It's very valid. I'm not here to tell somebody you're wrong, because there's no two people the same. You and I can take the same Tylenol, right? And it might make my headache go away. It might not make yours go away. But I do feel like SSRIs, they're supposed to mellow you, right? Keep you nice and level. Yeah. Sometimes we get a little too level. At one point, I probably, the meme with, it's fine, everything's fine.
With the fire
that was me.
it. Yeah.
Yes, that's me. I'm like, So like kind of lowering that dose when I kind of felt like I was ready to has certainly helped. However, like you said, some of those medications you have to be weaned from. And those side effects from that alone, you'll hear people talk about like head zaps. Mm-hmm. It's rough. You feel like you're on a roller coaster constantly, or like a tilt-a-whirl or something. But yeah, I mean, they can be used long-term, they can be used short-term, but I think just under the guidance of a medical professional, it can be done safely. Mm-hmm. So I'm really happy that he feels better. No one wants to feel crummy. And I think that's just personal choice, because there's other people that are like, you know what, I'd rather self-medicate other ways, you know what I mean? And that's, if it's legal by you, that's fine. Some people need that little extra help. So, and I take medication for sleep as well. So, yeah.
I think that's the complicated thing when it comes to mental health, because what works for thee might not work for me. For example, whenever Ken was talking about the medications that he was taking that were not working for him in particular, I kind of had a same experience where, I've mentioned before on Cafe that I have a lot of social anxiety, which a lot of people don't believe
it. I do not believe it whatsoever, Beans. You can stop right there. Stop right there.
If you go to fat camp, I'm pretty sure you'll see me just like sopping wet, sweating just because I'm around people. But yeah, I wanted to medicate at one point because when I was at university, big class sizes, right? And anytime I wanted to raise my hand to ask a question, I just get a tightening in my chest, and I felt like I couldn't breathe just because I raised my hand. Like there's no defined thing that the professor was going to call on me, but just like thinking that he would
Yes.
stop me in my tracks.
Yes.
So I did try to start something for my anxiety, and I felt worse. Like my mom, the moment that I started it, I started shaking. Like I had tremors all the time. And then during the nighttime, for some reason, I had a really bad side effect where I would just wake up in the middle of the night sweating profusely with the same like 10 times anxiety feeling and like dry heaving over the toilet. And that's when I said, I can't do this anymore.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like it's trial and error if people want to go the medication route. I was fortunate enough to have a good I don't want to say a good time on Zoloft, but I didn't have to take anything else. Started at like 25 milligrams. At the highest, it was 100, and that's a bit, you know.
Yep.
I'm back down to 25 milligrams, and it's just enough to kind of take that edge off because I over worry. Could not be doing this. I would have been like, nope, not at all. I wouldn't be in the profession that I am. You know, so I sing the praises of it, but just because I do, that doesn't mean it's good for everybody.
Yeah. So a lot of people in chat are chiming in saying that marijuana is, medical, obviously. Medical marijuana is a good way for them. I know the VA was actually testing medical marijuana for PTSD patients because they were talking to me about it. And the one thing is paranoia. They cannot get past the paranoia that some of the veterans feel, and obviously you don't want to release that to PTSD patients. But I will say, though, like it has helped me sleep. It didn't help me stay asleep, but it got me there because obviously being very relaxing and everything. But going back to Wings, though, I know when y'all had your therapy talk and your like little session, it really didn't go anywhere. Wings is the type of person that he's logical to a fault, I believe. And with any type of like therapy, counseling, you have to buy in. Because if you don't buy in and give it a chance, you're just going to be like an asshole and you just stare at the wall. You may as well stare at the wall at that point. So when he was giving you answers and when you were trying to think of things to like ask him, right? What do you think if you could have went further in? What do you think you could have told Kelly and Wings to kind of help them? Like just from what you saw so far.
Yeah. So in a typical, in therapy like that, you usually, first off, someone comes to you with an interest, right?
Yep.
I was like, here I am. So sometimes it's not well received. There's usually an intake and someone comes to me saying, hey, this is what I would like to work on. This is my goal. I think maybe finding what that was and, focusing on that because like we saw everything unravel, right? Like we, as an audience, we saw that. They are two people that are very much in love. They've been together a while. They've been married for a little bit. Love changes over time, and there's no doubt about that. I was talking a little bit about that in chat with my partner. We've been together forever, and he suffered a stroke almost 4 years ago.
Damn.
And a massive stroke. Like he doesn't have use of the right side of his body. He can walk, but like bear weight and stuff like that. But it rendered him disabled. And it just goes to show that love is unconditional and you roll with the punches. And I kind of think that's what Kelly and Wings do. There's love there. They do go out and do things. It might not look traditionally like, oh, this is a date. Like they were talking about, hey, I want to go to Best Buy and go get the speaker. We want to go eat. You know what? Sometimes that's all people need. But if, Kelly's saying, hey, I want to spend more time. Wings even said, hey, I want to spend more time with you. You're in school. Like we need to come together. I think they need to focus on that a little bit more. And that's not to fault them. Love changes. And I think there's a foundation there.
Oh, yeah.
Got to build on it a little. That's all.
Yeah, I've told people like I've seen them in person interact together. Like when I first met them in person was when I went through water balloons at Wings, right? And then we went to dinner or lunch, whatever you want to call it. And just sitting on the other side of the table of both of them and just seeing them interact and just talking. Like when Wings went to the bathroom, I was talking to Kelly about their marriage and like my marriage and stuff. She loves that man. She genuinely loves that man. And, she's very traditional because of her upbringing and all that, right? Where Wings doesn't have that tradition. So just seeing their dynamic or whatever, it's interesting. Part of me thinks some of it is for content, just to be honest. Part of me does think that they kind of go with it a little bit, but Kelly, I think, truly does get her feelings hurt. Yeah. She just doesn't want to show that as much. The community backs her 100%. Like, I don't know. Did you see what Simi was doing with Wings? Did you see that?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the way Kelly handled that, you could tell she was legitimately pissed off. So, as far as public displays of, I guess, marriage being on the rocks or whatever, do you think that could kind of hurt them personally when stuff like that happens and then Wing says his statements, even if he is just doing it for content? Do you think sometimes that can actually hurt Kelly?
It can. Pardon me. I think she does have the understanding of, he's a online personality, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, words hurt because you can't take them back. You can say sorry, but they're already said. Like, how many times have we, I always say that I don't think before I speak because I want to be surprised just like everybody else. And that's not true. Sometimes we just say things in the moment that we might not mean or just not have the understanding that, oh, wow, like that hurt that person, hurt the person that I love. Yep. They love each other. And I mean, I don't think the show's going to make them divorce. I think they have this understanding. And furthermore, how many hours a day do we see them? It's just a snippet. And Wings had said that, hey, you only see a little bit, but like the little bit that we saw is a lot of it, but they, at the end of the day, they do love each other. And that's how I feel.
Definitely. I'm sorry, Ms.
What's so interesting? No, what I think is so interesting about Wings and Kelly specifically, whenever we do see these moments, is that even though it's just a small moment, it has so much packed in there because you can talk about boundaries, you can talk about love languages. Like you said, Kelly wants, it seems like she's more of the time sort of love language, while maybe Wings really values like, hey, I'm spending money on you, isn't that enough?
Right.
So there are a lot of things that you can what's it called? There's a lot of things you can touch on when it comes to seeing these interactions with Wings and Kelly, which I think are very interesting. We do see somebody saying it's not fake when he's talking about his size to another woman in front of his wife. It's disrespectful for sure, no matter if it's for content. Do you have anything to say about that?
Now I don't know how true it is. Did he say that he was on the spectrum?
Who, Wings? I don't.
Yeah. No.
I don't think so.
Okay. I wasn't quite sure. I mean, yeah, things like that aren't cool, right? Mm-hmm. I would be upset if my partner was doing those things, but my partner and I aren't on a podcast, right? We're not talking to the audience. I think sometimes you might get in the moment. It does not make it right at all. I would be livid. Yeah, I mean, certain things you really should not do, even if it's for content. Yeah, I definitely would not have been, hey, go hit on Wings because someone told me to. And I love Keem so much. Like, I think he is a very smart person. In that case, that was really rough to watch because, like you said, you saw Kelly like be upset, and that broke my heart. Even if it was content, even if it wasn't, it was so sad to see. But she'll fight for her man, and mm-hmm. I think that's important. And I hope Wings does see that she'd fight for him, she'd go up to bat for him, and that's really important.
That is very important. I personally don't like talking a lot about people when they're not here because I feel like they can't really defend themselves. I know that Wings is a very hot topic. I did notice whenever I was in YouTube studios, you do make And if you don't want to answer, or if this is like a secret thing for like later on in, the universe, that's completely fine. But I did notice that you do get a lot of clips from different episodes of like different shows.
Yeah.
Are those just for fun, or do you like examine those for some reason? Because I did see you take some clips of like Leppy and other people whenever they say something that might be, talking about their feelings or what they're doing.
Yeah. I'm part of the docket team on Local Live. So,
Okay.
yeah. But I will tell you, so, we got a call, hey, this is popping off in the server. Can you guys go take a peek? I was clipping like when we first saw Leppy and, just kind of that progression.
Mhm.
You can see the shift if you look. Like it's actually kind of it's fascinating. For someone who is, I don't want to say timid in a bad way, because like coming up on panel, it's hard if you're not used to that. It's hard if you have anxiety. It's hard if you're shy. But from someone going from like so shy, like just being, hey, I'm a fan of this show, to having that part ripped away. I mean, it was kind of cool. But yeah, no, I don't clip for, for like
Therapy.
purposes of, no, not at all. And I even said that in the chat earlier, that therapy's not good unless people are open to it.
Yep.
And want it. I don't do like court ordered anything. I basically do assessments. I find where there's an unmet need and I put that unmet need to a resource. So yeah, but I do got a lot of clips, like a lot.
I got you.
Yeah, I saw. I was like, what is she doing? I didn't know that you were part of the docket team, so
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do you use your background in any sort of way to try to get clips or maybe get more understanding from the clips that you get from other shows?
I try not to. For the sake of the show or for the purpose of the show, I just find things that I think are interesting. Now, maybe like in the background, I'm like, oh, they're exhibiting this, that, and the other. I would never say it, I'm not hired to do so. But yeah, I grab things that I find might be really good talking points. That's all. Hot topics and things like that. Yeah.
Okay. So we are all human. And I feel like as
Are we?
humans, sometimes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Are we?
We might be.
But I think a lot of people do something called people watching, right? Do you do people watching, and to
Yes.
what extent?
I do, and I don't realize that I do it. But going out to the grocery store, I did substitute teaching for a little bit before I had stepped away. We had spoke to briefly. My mom had cancer a year ago, and having a caseload of 330 people that I had to see twice a year got to be a little much. So I stepped away, and I needed an income, so I did substitute teaching. So I found myself in a class being like, oh, little Jimmy, or I didn't have a Jimmy, but, just kind of like looking, oh, coping mechanisms might be not on point, or, this kindergartner is displaying signs of this or that. That's not my job to do, but my brain is constantly moving. I'm constantly in helper mode. I say I'm a friend to all. To a fault am I a friend to all, because my DMs are open for people if they're having a rough time. It doesn't bother me. It costs $0 to be kind, to be nice, to lend a listening ear. I just don't cure, treat, or diagnose anybody. Yeah,
That makes sense.
So Steve Newsom in chat actually brought up a very good point I didn't even think about. He said, Wing says he eats, sleeps, go live, and that's it. Can't be mentally healthy.
No.
So,
Or it could just be his routine,
Yeah. I know he said before on stream that he didn't leave the house for like 2 weeks. And, when you get in such a bubble that you don't want to burst it and move on, I know a lot of people say like vitamin D is important.
Yeah.
Like the seasonal effectiveness disorder. I thought it was all BS, but it actually really is true. Like I've dealt with it before.
Mm-hmm.
But just I guess what you see with Wings and like what he does and says and all that. Just real quick, I'm curious. If you had a piece of advice for wings, what would it be?
I think sometimes we have to force ourselves to do things that we might not prefer. I hate doing dishes. I hate it. Will I leave dishes pile up in my sink? No, I'm going to do them. I think do one thing. Get out, go sit outside for a little bit, go grab the mail outside. It might work for him, right? To eat, sleep, game, whatever. I couldn't do that. And I found myself in cycles like that like my bed is safe. I'm going to be a little burrito and this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to play The Sims or I'm going to binge watch YouTube. It's not safe because if you can get into a really dark space.
Yep.
And I don't want that for him. I think he's a lovely person. Like I really do. But yeah, I couldn't. I need I have to do something.
100%.
I think we spoke a little bit briefly yesterday whenever we were on call. I had my niece in the background and you were telling me how important that routine is, especially for her because she's such at a young age. But I think as we grow older, we kind of forget how important routine is as adulthood. Because once you make a routine, you find yourself in those patterns over and over again. So maybe staying home, doing the same things over and over can be a very dangerous thing, especially what they're talking about with wings.
Yeah. No, most definitely. Routine is very important. And that's not to say to have a routine and like absolutely go ballistic when it doesn't go to plan, because life doesn't go to plan. But I think just having that little bit of, I have to do this, I have to do this, have a plan for the day. If you don't get to all of it, that's fine. But just having that plan, I can't go, I'm a list taker or a note taker. I have to take notes. It's paining me. I don't have a pen in my hand right now to jot stuff down.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm like that. I like lists. I like notes. And I like to know what I'm going to do for the day. That might not work for everybody. For children, especially, it's so important to have a routine. Because I know, my brother likes to take my son, because he has daughters. He doesn't have boys. So he'll take them sledding or snowmobiling or something like that. Well, he's a cool uncle, right? So he's not going to be like, yeah, you have to go to bed at 7 or 8 or 9. It's, let's have pizza, candy, soda. And then he comes home and he's a mess. And he doesn't know why. And it's like, well, you sit up till 2 a.m. Routine is so important just for development and growth and emotional regulation. And yeah.
So we had a super chat from the Guantanamo. He says, I think Wings needs to listen to Keem and his new community more. He's a contrarian by nature. Ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen?
That's a good point.
Yep.
That is a good point.
So I was going to say, the one thing I miss about the military is it's very regimented. Like, you literally knew exactly what was going to happen, and there was really no changes. And it was almost to a fault when you're trying to adjust back outside. But one thing I also wanted to ask you was, did you see the Wings, Kelly, and Becky episode of Locale Life? When it was...
I think so.
Because Wings was hosting and he had Kelly and Becky.
Yes,
and
yes.
And this was around the same time everyone's saying that Wings has a thing for Becky, and Wings thought Becky was his body type and blah, blah, blah. And then that's the infamous episode where he said Becky is a 6 and Kelly is a 5.
That's rough.
Yeah. So
that's rough.
And then you saw her do the paper bag over her head and all that stuff. So, I know I asked you this before, but as far as separating the marriage from the content, do you think those lines can get blurred? Because I'm probably never gonna have my wife on stream. I want to keep it separate. I just want my personal life separately. But do you think when those lines get blurred sometimes, or if they get blurred, do you think sometimes it can lead to real life consequences?
Yeah, I think so, because your partner should always be a 10.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, Wings can go and say, I was just being a good host. I'm being cordial. I'm being a good host. From an outsider's perspective, maybe it's like, oh, you're being a little too friendly, or, maybe you shouldn't say that. I don't think he was aware that he made those comments. I think he was being nice, and yeah, it can certainly be blurred, and it can cause IRL turmoil.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
well, my thing is, I don't care about anybody else's feelings if my wife is being brought up or compared. Like, I could care less.
absolutely,
Like, bro,
absolutely.
go F yourself. I don't care.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But you know, and like the thing for my wife, every time I see her, every time I say, "Hey, gorgeous, how you doing?" Every time for years and years and years. There was one time I forgot, and she was like, "You don't think I'm gorgeous?" I'm like, "Bruh, you know I do." You know, so it's just it's those little things, and obviously, you know, a lot of women, because of society standards, don't think they're beautiful, or they want to do things to change themselves. But I always wanted her to know that no matter, in my eyes, she's always like gorgeous and beautiful. Always. It'll never change. Because to me, it goes a lot deeper than just looks. You know what I mean? It goes to like how you treat the person, how they treat themselves, how they are as a person, how they treat everyone around them. It's a lot deeper. Beauty is very deep, you know, but.
Yeah, no, most definitely. My partner and I, same thing. He'll say, "Oh, hi, beautiful." And if he doesn't say it, because, like I said, he had a stroke, his brain got affected, right?
Yeah.
So he's not the same. He's the same person, but he's not the same person, right? And we just kind of roll with it. And like, sometimes he gets like too matter of fact. Like, these glasses, he cannot stand these glasses. He told me one time, right? Little kitty cat ears.
Oh, I just noticed that. I just noticed that. Okay.
I got him when I was subbing because it was a cool talking point with like elementary kids, you know? And I like them. And he forgets that he says things. Like, his memory's not that great. And he'll be like, "God, I freaking hate those glasses on you." And it's like, thanks. Yeah. And he'll say, you know, he'll make a compliment like 2 seconds before, but he'll be like, "Jesus, those glasses."
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I mean,
how does that make you feel?
Oh, I don't care. I'm gonna wear my glasses. Like, and that's just the relationship we have. We deal with humor, you know, humor. We're funny. People might look and be like, "Oh my God, like they are busting each other's balls. Like you wouldn't believe," but that's what we do. If I had them on panel now, I'd be like, "I fucking hate those glasses." Like, but whatever.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So chat, again, let us know if you got any questions for Dr. D. I know wings was a hot topic, and obviously we want Leppy. So let me ask you about Leppy real quick.
Yeah.
As far as the progression goes with Leppy and what he's trying to do, obviously I'm not saying he can't do it, but I don't know if he's going to meet people's expectations for what he's supposed to be. Sure. So what kind of progression did you see from the nerd Leppy to the dark Leppy?
Well, like I said, he went from being a fan, right? "Hey, I love this show. Thanks for having me on. I'm going to be a pay pig. I'm going to be a cash cow." Like, that's what we all did. I think getting a show, that's a wonderful thing. It probably feel great until you sit down and you're like, "Oh crap, I have a show and I have to produce content and I have to, you know, create 2 hours worth of talking points about, you know, this, that, and the other. And I have to mesh well with hosts, you know, people that I'm going to work with." Those are all very difficult things. And I wonder, and I would love if he was up here.
Me too.
I wonder if it was too much. I think it could have been too much. And like I've watched, you know, the Lammy versus Leppy, you know, thing. It was rough to watch because I feel like I liked all three of them together. I think my question was, they said he didn't have a computer.
So when this all started, he was asking me things about computers, right? When he was getting his show. And at the time, I didn't have the computer I have either. But he was just asking me about stuff. And I kind of told him, because I'm not a computer guy. I'm just not. Yeah. And then he was asking me about Apple. I said, bro, I know as much about Apple as I do how they made this cup, right? So I was like, you're a host. Go in the host chat, tag Rich and Jay, or go on their show because they're the tech talk guys. Ask them questions. It'll make content for them, and it'll help you out. Win-win.
Yeah.
I think he did get some sort of computer or like a Mac or what. I don't know. But,
Yeah. Something. Yeah. Okay, that's good. And then I kind of thought it was unfair that people, oh, you're not a real nerd. What does that even mean? A couple of rewinds ago, Xylee was on and she said, I like the things that I like. And basically, I might have a tough time talking about things that I don't like, I don't know the things that Leppy likes. And I wonder if that's because he didn't get a chance to talk. And I'm not saying people are talking over him, but I feel that if you're a host of a show, I'm not saying to command the show, but get yourself heard. Jump in on a conversation. I wish I would have known the types of things that he likes. And I haven't always watched Nerds. I'm not going to lie. I got, kids and stuff like that and things around like responsibilities in my house. But I just wonder, did he not get a full chance? I don't know. It's a lot of questions. I hope whatever he's going through ends and he can kind of come back down and even just join us back in the community. I think there's going to be people that are going to receive him well. I'm one of them. I mean, we all go through stuff. It just so happens that it was on a platform of 2,000-3,000 people.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Definitely. You want to say something, Ms. Beans?
No, sorry, I was going to, and then I read a comment, and then it kind of shot things out of my brain.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about a lot of different topics because I know that we have a lot of people in our community that might be struggling with many different things or just want to know more about many different things. Do you have any, I don't want to say expertise, but do you have anything in regards to disassociation? I feel like that's a very prominent problem, especially people that are in like the internet space. There's a lot of people that disassociate from real life going into these worlds in their computer and kind of pushing out any bad that they have in their lives. Could you speak a little bit about that for a moment?
I don't have expertise in that realm. I disassociate sometimes, not to the point to where I can't like function or anything like that. But so like my expertise, like I said, was like children, family, and the elderly. And we kind of talked about how all those were connected in a way. Yeah, I mean, kids will just go off in their own little world. Like, just, it fascinates me. That's probably something that I would like to learn a lot more about. I don't have a whole lot to say about it. I mean, there are resources out there if you feel like it's becoming too much. But I mean, look at all the stuff that's going on in the news, and the world's a scary place. And not even like politically, just, with these plane crashes and just, I live in Chicago. We call it Chirac over here, just because of gun violence and things like that. The world's a scary place. And I think us as people are just trying to muddle through it. I'm not saying disassociation is, great for you. However, I mean, we're all looking for some sort of escape in one way or another, just an outlet. But yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say about disassociation because it wasn't part of my expertise.
Boogie loves to claim it all the time. So
Boogie, that you could go and do a number on Boogie with all the stuff that he claims. Is there anything that you would be more comfortable in talking about? Sorry, I'm trying to look for something in the chat
you're
right
good.
now. People are just arguing about what a diagnosis is versus like an action.
Well, that goes back to that first article. I mean, we can link it in chat.
Yeah,
I'll
do that
on the Discord. But we're in a different society. It evolved in the way that we can, at our fingertips, just say what we're feeling, how we're feeling, and it's nice, but it also can backfire, right? It makes you dwell on your struggles. Like I said, it can, trying to find my words. It's like a rumination, you're dwelling and dwelling and dwelling on these bad things that maybe you might be going through something, right? Undiagnosed. But I'm going to keep talking about how sad I am. I'm going to keep talking about, my feelings. Sometimes that's a cry for help, right? And other times it's, like you said, someone looking for sympathy. Either way, I don't care. I'm going to try to help somebody because I'd rather not let someone fall through the cracks. But like I said, it goes back to picking your tribe, whatever that looks like. We got to cope somehow.
Yeah.
Exactly. So your expertise is more on small children and, older population. But I do feel like people kind of forget that we all share sort of the same mind when it comes to how you can break a pattern and then redirect. Can you speak a little bit more about redirection and how that could help with some of these negative feelings that people can have?
Yeah. Man, redirection is a really good tool. So like I said, I worked with the elderly and the young. I find myself redirecting a lot. A lot of times dealing with my older clients. I call them clients, they're not patients. When I work with my older clients, a lot of times they're into social isolation, right? Especially during COVID. They just want to talk to somebody. So they're going to overshare and talk to you about, their plantar wart or, their bathroom habits or something, or, just dwelling on negative thoughts. And it's really important for us to kind of redirect into like a more positive way. Like I said, in the beginning of my career, I did direct support. So I was basically working in group homes as like a mental health technician. I've had my nose broken, like concussion after concussion. Yeah, I mean, it just happens. It's part of the job, right? And I will say in those situations that happen, I was not good at redirecting, but sometimes people are in crisis so bad that it's just going to happen. But when I did work in those group homes, redirection was really important. If someone was being overly negative about something, because a lot of times people they didn't want to be in a group home. They didn't understand why they couldn't, be home with their family or live on their own. So when I worked with people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, mind you, it's a multi-million-dollar home. It was beautiful, but it's not theirs. They have someone telling them when it's breakfast time, someone telling them when they got to take medication, where they can go to work at for like pennies on the dollar. It was ridiculous. All the while trying to make this a welcoming home for somebody. It was really tough. And when I was a manager, I would tell my staff, this might be your place of employment, but it's so-and-so's house. This is their home, and you're going to treat it as such. But yeah, with redirection, it's a very useful tool. It can get you out of some bad situations. It just redirects negative behavior into a more positive thought.
That's very true. Sorry, I'm trying to think of some more topics that we can talk about. Have you ever seen The Sopranos?
Briefly, yeah.
I love that show.
Do you? It's one of the things that I want to rewatch. I feel like I've seen like some episodes, but not enough to
amazing.
Yeah.
It's really
Okay.
good.
Gotcha. It's a really good show. But that whatever you were talking about really made me think of Tony Soprano's mom, because you kind of see that sort of I guess like area in somebody's life really played out and how it might affect that person going into a home. So Tony's mom, I don't know how far in you got, but for the viewers that haven't seen it, Tony's mom, she's having difficulty living on her own, and finally they're like, hey, you're gonna have to go into a home. And she's wrestling with these thoughts, and she's thinking, like, why do I have to go into a home? I feel perfectly fine and safe in my own home. You guys just hate me. Like, these are the thoughts she's going, and then she's directing everything towards them. She's pushing so much negativity towards them and thinking that they're the problem and that she's perfectly fine the way she is. Have you ever experienced something like that?
Probably 95% of my time working with the geriatric community. So I was what they call the care coordinator. I would facilitate services to keep people out of the nursing home, to keep people from not hurting themselves, like unanticipated hospital visits and things like that. So the way that we did that, we completed an assessment. Like I said, assessment, unmet need, resource, right? So when we would do that, little Mrs. Smith's daughter, who hasn't seen her in like 3 months, would come in and be like, we really want mom to go to a home because she's not safe here. Well, mom's like, I'm perfectly safe. I can cook, I can clean, I can do this. Maybe not like before. So it was my job to, do things like put in homemaker services if there was mental health issues, see if there's support groups, or, make sure a doctor was informed. Sometimes those things didn't work without, we would have people in the house to kind of make sure basic needs were met. We'd have like that little life alert button. God forbid something was to happen and there was no one there. We even went as far as doing like automated like medication dispenser type of things, just to make it easier for someone to stay home. And then like put them into the community as well with, things that interest them, like congregate meals, like the Meals on Wheels program. They, in my area, they have them to where you pay a couple bucks, you go sit down, and chat with other senior citizens while enjoying a meal. There's transportation and stuff like that. Sometimes all of that doesn't even work, right? Someone's going to fall. There might be an undiagnosed dementia, things like that. But it's never easy to have a conversation with somebody to say, you got a 2-story house. Have you thought about maybe moving into a senior community or, assisted living or skilled nursing? And it always goes to, well, you just want me dead. You want my house, you want my money. And those are it's hard for a family. My mom was really sick last year. And, she made comments like that. And it's like, nope, it's my job to keep you around and kicking, because
Yep.
I don't know what to do with this house, but they're tough topics. They happen a lot. And I think having somebody just show a little bit of compassion and empathy kind of makes that pill a little bit easier to swallow, just to show people, or older people, hey, we're in your corner. We've done all of this stuff to help. What other ways can we help you? And 9 times out of 10, they kind of understand. I would say 8 out of 10. They would understand that, it might be a little too much living on my own. There's so many programs out there to kind of help that, but that's a tough pill to swallow. Think about your own parents that might have lived in their own home, 40, 50 years, and then you got to leave it because you can't upkeep it or you can't take care of yourself. It's really sad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Part of life's transitions, right?
Yep. Nothing we can do to stop from getting older.
Yep.
And that's a client had told me that. And it was amazing. She was a beautiful woman. She was 89 years old. Absolutely beautiful. She aged so gracefully and so lovely. She was such a nice person to talk to. And I always say, well, what's your secret? Honey, there's no secret. I have good genes, And she would say, stop focusing on aging. I just turned 40 and I'm like, oh crap, what's going on? How did this happen? Mm-hmm. And she'd said there's nothing you can do to stop from aging. So just roll with it. And it always stood with me, It always stood with me.
I guess one thing for me is like, because I'm next month I turn 39, so we're about the same age. But yeah, like I didn't have my first cell phone until high school and all that, and just seeing the evolution of technology, it's further and further pushing people away from face to face.
Yeah,
And humans, I think, are meant to be social creatures. I've said that numerous times here.
absolutely.
And, because like back before all that, you had to like see someone and speak to them. Like even just the basic thing of like trying to court a partner, like that you had interest in, to go up there and talk to them, get to know them. A lot of that, you got the apps now. You can just text message, and then people feel they can say whatever they want typing, but they'd never say it face to face. So
Absolutely.
I think that as that evolves and gets better, it's going to push social interaction further and further away. And, the pandemic didn't help that because we were stuck in there for so long and people just adjusted and companies tried to adjust. And there's all these, apps and programs for people to communicate without being face to face. And, I just think, like with, like content creators, a lot of times they just get so caught up in their bubble trying to think of the next stream or the next video. All they do is interact through the internet. They don't go outside. They don't like just going to order a meal at a fast food restaurant. That's, like when Beans was talking about social anxieties, it's only going to get worse as time goes on. And I think that, being some people, they just can't handle talking to someone face to face.
Yeah, no, definitely. I don't know if you've ever seen it. I saw like TikTok videos and stuff on it, and I always thought it was funny until I saw it in person. I saw someone in their car making a TikTok, TikTok is my brain rot. I'll go and scroll through to see what's funny, whatever. But it was just so bizarre to see somebody like on the other end doing like whatever dance, or they were like dancing before they got a meal. And I was like, this is ridiculous, but it probably looked awesome when you post it, you know what I mean, with like editing and music or whatever, but it was just funny. But yeah, no, social media is a wonderful tool, but like you said, it is just kind of putting that divide. And think about going back to older people that are much older than us. Simple things like insurance applications, it's very hard to do those over the phone or find a paper application.
Mm-hmm.
They say, hey, do this online. Medicare, Medicaid, you have to do it online unless you want to sit in line for 8 hours at like the Department of Human Services office.
No one wants to do that.
No. So what we used to do is we would, at bedside, we would go visit clients. Part of my job was to assess clients for like subacute rehab, to do these determination of needs assessments to make sure that rehab was appropriate for this person that maybe broke a hip or had a knee replacement or something. So I worked at 3 of my local hospitals. And they would say, how the hell do I pay for this? And I was like, you don't have insurance, I don't, all I get is Edna room 2, go have this assessment. That's all the state cares about. They want you to make the money, do the assessment. So I would sit there with a little iPad and apply people for Medicaid. It wasn't something that I had to do, but it wasn't going to get done. Otherwise, it's the internet and social media and all of that technology is wonderful until it's not,
Yep.
Definitely. What's it going to look like 40 years from now? Maybe 80 years. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be in my 80s. What am I going to be? I'm going to ask my kids to do something for me because I might not understand it, or, because I do that for my mom now, Yeah, it's fascinating.
Even in my age, right? Like, I feel like when the age of the internet, I'm already in a casket waiting to be buried, at the age of 39. And, I don't know if you've seen like the Boomer Report thing that I have. It's
yes.
When I have an old person moment, Boomer Report lives. But yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things. And, we definitely want to help people. We want people to be better and all that. I'm sure when you're just watching in the Discord, you see slander, you see people talking shit and back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
And,
yeah,
it's just one of those things,
Yep. It's, like I said, for anybody listening that is under the age of 30, there's nothing you can do that's going to prevent you from aging. There's things that can like restore what you look like, but you're still going to be 40, you're still going to be 50, you're still going to be 60. Nothing you can do about it.
Well, since you guys are of the older generation, and I'm not calling you old, you guys look wonderful for your age.
Thank you.
How do you feel about the whole trend that's going on where usually women are making like these funerals for their youth? So once they turn 30, they have like this very funeral-esque birthday party, basically bidding adieu to their youth. How do you feel about that?
I think it's funny. I don't want to say it's a way to cope, but I think it's just putting like a funny twist on turning 30, right? What do we do when we turn 21? We turn up.
Yep.
You know? Like,
yep.
I think, man, after 21, I'm like, I can't do this no more because this is rough. But it's the same thing. I would say that life probably doesn't really begin until about 30.
I'll tell you,
You know?
When I turned 30, the day before I turned 30 years old, I was laying in bed, and you know, like my wife was traveling for work. We were just dating at the time, and I was on the phone with her, and I was like, I turned 30 tomorrow, and she's just like, yeah, and I'm like, I'm going through all these like life things, like what have I done with my life? Where am I going? Like I'm not in my 20s anymore, you know. It's just, you know, I had all these goals in my head I wanted to do before I was 30, and I didn't even do any of them, you know. And it's just kind of like, what am I doing now, you know? And then, you know, next year I'll be turning 40, and I'm probably gonna have the same thing. And it's just like, it's a part of growing up, and it's a part of like, you know, just coming of age and just going through natural life. But doesn't mean, you know, it can't be a reality check, you know.
Yeah, no, definitely. Definitely. I think I did that before I turned 40. I'm like, oh, crap. Like, again, how did this happen? But it's part of life. But yeah, I would say that life begins truly like around 30. You finally got your like footing in a career, hopefully. Mm-hmm. Hopefully student loans, if you went to school, are paid off by then. You're probably married, starting a family, thinking about it. That's when life is really fun. When I'm not living for myself, I'm, you know, living for others, living for my kids. I have 3 kids, you know, they're 22, 20, and 7. So
nice.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, being a mom's awesome.
I think life is just interesting in the fact that you never know where you're going to end up. I think Ken and I were talking about this a couple of days ago about one of the basketball players. Like, he didn't truly start his life until he was around his 30s or something of the sort. No matter what people say, like if they say that you can't do it, it's never too late.
Of course.
And I think that's something that people kind of forget, because we all compare ourselves to other people, right?
Yeah.
For example, I'm going to be 25 on Friday, and whenever I think of what my mom did at 25, she already had like 2 kids and she had a family. I'm over here like, I'm on the internet now, and I would never expect being on the internet, because when I was a little girl, I wanted to be a scientist, right? But things don't always work out the way that it does. Life is just interesting. You never know what you're going to do. Did you think that you would end up in this predicament or situation?
No, I wanted to be a teacher. And then after I graduated high school, I went to school for journalism and was writing obituaries for the Chicago newspaper, you know, like. And then I'm like, oh, this is boring and sucks. So let me try to find something else. It was by pure chance. I was a copy editor at a really good publishing company out here, and they've since merged, but they let people go. And they said, well, you can either go to Dubuque, Iowa. Mind you, I'm in Chicago. You can relocate. We'll pay for your relocation to do copy editing in our math department in Dubuque, Iowa, or we'll give you a little bit of a severance package and you leave. So I took the severance package. I didn't want to take my kids out of school. And And so I'm like, crap, I don't have a job. I got to find something to do, because when you take a severance, you don't go on unemployment.
Yep.
And so, I tossed that in the bank and hit the streets looking for a job. And my oldest son was in kindergarten, and one of his friends' mom said, hey, you know what? I work at this place down the street for, the way she said it, it's for special needs people. You just got to take care of them. Are you interested? And I was like, yeah, I mean, it's a job. Yeah, I can walk to it from my house. It paid $10.50 an hour back in 2008. $10.50 an hour, to basically take care of people that couldn't take care of themselves fully. And from there, I'm like, I want to say it was a care facility for 16 people, and these 16 people taught me more about life than any textbook could have, my parents could have. Like, it was amazing. And I went back to school, got a couple more bachelors, working on like my final master's now. Like, yeah, and it just all started. It's funny how life works, because I would have been copy editing in Dubuque, Iowa.
So we got a $10 donation from the Trusted Texan saying, just want to take a second to appreciate the show, and especially our guest, Dr. D. This is my favorite way to start my workday. We appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I think people really appreciate just the different nature that cafe brings to the LCU, right? Like, it's not all the drama and screaming and things of that nature. We're starting to do like these little interviews with other hosts and other people in the LCU just to give a little bit more perspective. And I think that's very interesting. Like, I love the idea of you coming on, because lately there has been a lot of themes in the LCU of emotions, of life changes, of things of that nature. So I think you having or giving us that little peek into your brain and how you think about these things is very interesting.
No, I appreciate being here. It's fun. It's nice being on the other side. But yeah, no, there's a lot of emotions at any given time, kind of going through chat, and it happens. But it happens when you get a lot of people together.
Definitely.
All it takes is one varying thought, and the mob mentality takes effect, and it is what it is. But I think people need to realize that you're talking to other people on that other end of the keyboard, right?
Yep.
Words hurt. They're impactful. But I mean, I've been guilty of it too. I'm not gonna lie. I popped off on people before. Like, we're human and we're capable of making mistakes. But as long as we're capable of being like, ooh, I goofed up, and apologizing, it should be all good.
Yep. If you
just to give. Oh, sorry.
no,
you go ahead, Ken.
No, you go. I hate the Discord. I'm sorry. The lag is just Go ahead.
I hate it too. No, I was just going to try and lighten the mood just a little bit. Like, we're not in a bad mood, but just to kind of do a little funny haha, I guess.
Sure.
Would you compare the Discord, because you said you work both with young people and old people, would you compare the Discord more to a group of toddlers or a group of old people?
That's a good question.
Ooh,
That's a real good question.
That's a really good question. You know what? I would relate it to high school.
Really?
I would relate it to high school. Because we do have people of varying ages in there, right? And you got people that want attention, people that just want to be mad, and that's not anyone in particular, but it's just what you see when you're in a Discord of a few thousand people, right? I forgot how many there were, but it's quite a bit.
About 2,200.
Something like that, yeah.
Yep.
You're gonna find all walks of life, right? But yeah, I would say it's more high schoolish, because sometimes it's petty, sometimes it's messy, sometimes people come together and rally around someone, and it's a cool place if you can navigate it. I try not to I don't take things to heart. I'm sure chat's popping off now. I couldn't care less. I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I might be someone's, but it's fine. And people are entitled to their opinion, right? Which is it's whatever. But yeah, I would say it's more towards high school. So I guess on the younger end, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So James F. MC donated 20 British pounds, British pounds. I echo trusted Texan sentiment. Cafe is a palate cleanser from the previous night before craziness. We appreciate that.
Yeah, it really is. Shows that I haven't watched, I won't watch them until like the afternoon.
Oh yeah.
Until like I've zenned out.
Yep.
Because you don't want to start your day screaming. I love those shows. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy every show. But yeah, this is a really nice start to the morning. Like it really is.
So I feel like this show's a little different, right? Because I mean, we have a core audience. We have the faithful that always come here every day. We always get around, between 2 and 250 viewers constantly, right? Our faithful audience. Yeah. Yesterday we had our peak ever at 420, which is funny. 420 concurrent viewers. I think that's the most we've ever had, and that's awesome. And before Keem talked to us about the evolution of the show, because obviously this is not the final form. And, we've recently started doing or implementing like interviews, right? They just talking to people. So I guess the thing for us is we don't get a redirect. Like people complain about redirects. Like we don't care about a redirect. I want to build an audience because they want to find us and come here and watch us. I don't want people to just stick around because there was 3,000 people in a show and they're just here. I don't want that. But, I think that, the show will get better. Like I'm going to start my cooking with Ken here. I'm supposed to be recording tomorrow. I'm going to record one and then start putting it out there, because I want the members to feel special and everything. So, someone wanted to ask, are you a real like MD, like doctor?
Oh, I'm not a medical doctor.
Okay.
No, that was for the purpose of entertainment here.
Okay.
But I do have 16 years of human and social services under my belt. So
got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Someone was just asking, so they're just
no, and that's perfectly valid. Yeah. No, entertainment purposes only. Like I said, I make it very clear I don't treat, cure, or diagnose anything. I'm a listening ear for our server. So
have you ever thought about going to get your doctorate?
I have this master's. I think I'm the beginning of 2026. I might. I don't know. It's just, education is so expensive. Like, I think my student loans are capped, so I pay out of pocket this second lag of my educational career. But yeah.
Okay.
And internships are hard too, because it's hard to find paid ones. Unless there's like certain grants, which is really nice for social work because you can find grants in my area. But it's, what is it? 200 hours 200 hours in a field that doesn't have to be your expertise, and then another 300 hours in your field of choice. So I'm doing like children and family now, which before mine, my expertise is like geriatrics. But yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work being a professional student.
Yeah.
It's insane work. Whenever I was in university, like I said, I wanted to be a scientist. I wanted to specifically go into biotechnology because I thought it was so cool. But I was just doing a bachelor's degree, and like there would be times where I just didn't eat or I wouldn't sleep because I was just study.
Yeah.
And then whenever I got to see what it would, I got a peek behind the curtain what it would look like, because I would be with some some continuing education students. I think it stuck with me when somebody said, I don't envy their lifestyle. There's a lot of people that for a moment they want to continue education, but then they see the lifestyle that they would live and they would just shut it down and say, I don't envy their lifestyle. And I think that was something that really stuck with me, because it's hard. It's something that you feel really accomplished whenever you're done doing, but it's a really hard thing to do. I'm still on the fence if I want to continue my education or not, but
I got a master's degree I'll never use.
What's your master's in?
Public administration.
Ooh.
Oh,
that's a good one, though.
It is.
That is a good one.
Really good. I was thinking of doing public health administration, but my master's of social work can do the same thing, kind of.
Yep. Yeah.
Less state level. Yeah.
I went to a like a military friendly school, and I was able to get it. I had like a 3.8 GPA and all that stuff.
Nice.
So, yep. Because their program is if you dip below a 3.5, you're kicked out of the program.
Yeah.
So they're super serious. So
Yeah, I think masters here in MSWs, it's like below 3.0, and things happen. I make sure.
Definitely.
I make sure to stay at that 4.0.
You have to, right?
Yeah, I think the other thing is the thing that kind of turned me off of doing a master's or anything additional is just kind of the high school mentality that a lot of people have. Like, a lot of people are very snooty. A lot of people came from better education. They have parents that have higher education, and I was the only one that's like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm the one that filled out my application, and I have no idea what I'm supposed to do when it comes to continuing education. So seeing all those people around me, I did compare myself a lot to those people, and it was just a very humbling experience, to say the least.
Yeah. From one of my bachelors, I didn't. So, like I said, my first bachelor's is in journalism with like a concentration in magazines, because magazines in the early 2000s were like all the rage. Now they're not. But I went back to school because I'm like, I'm going to be a teacher. This is what I'm going to do. And I was late 20s, and I went to a Christian college. So take snooty and righteous people and put them together, and that's what you got. I think I lasted like 2 years there. I'm like, this ain't for me. Sorry.
That'd be fun.
Oh, God. Huh. God. I got kicked out of theology class. Kind of fun.
Really?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
They don't like to be questioned, but it's okay.
It's one of those things. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
Coming on, yeah. Been about the hour and a half mark. We'll go over some new stuff, but as always, you're awesome.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. Like I said, we're all coping. We're all going through stuff, so find your tribe.
This is what I'll say. If Dark Leppy happens to make an appearance, I want to bring you back up. So
yeah,
if you're not sticking around, I'd appreciate it, just in case.
Yeah, I'll hang out.
Cool. All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Dr. D, everyone. That was awesome.
I love her little sweater. Her sweater looks so cozy. I think the thing that makes her more welcoming and warm and inviting is all the clothes she has. Like, for example, she had like a sweater whenever I was talking to her in VC that said "Be kind," and it just looks so warm and cozy. I love it.
Oh yeah. Cool. Well, hello everyone. Thanks for sticking around for the nice little interview and discussion with Dr. D. I think that was always awesome. I reached out to Leppy, so we're gonna see if he does anything. Alrighty.
Is there any particular news that you want to get into for our last couple? How long are we going till?
12. One thing I wanted to talk about was, I guess, Keemstar's, opinion of the Super Bowl halftime show. Mm-hmm. He talked about that last night. For those that didn't check it out, I'm just going to share them really quick. I'm sure everyone saw it, but just to refresh everyone's memory, let's.
But Kendra,
I don't even know what this is, but that's right. It's Pokemon. All right, let's check it out.
But Kendrick Lamar got more yards in the halftime show than the Chiefs did.
Only white people hated it. I didn't want to say it. As a white passing.
Okay. Pokimane said only white people hated the halftime show. That is literally not true. All of Black Twitter was roasting the fucking halftime show, saying it sucked. That is literally not true.
In person, I didn't want to say that. But you saying that and me repeating that message, I'm just going to let that sit. Okay, you know what pissed me off the most, respectfully, too?
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Pokimane is fighting racism.
The people that I saw with this take the most were white men. Ain't nothing wrong with being a white man. That's not the point. My point is that
Pokimane, ladies and gentlemen, she is not popular by any stretch of the term. But we'll go ahead and check out the part 2 of this before we get into it.
The people that I saw with this take the most were white men. Ain't nothing wrong with being a white man. That's not the point. My point is that, you know, I feel like if you watched his performance and really took it in, you'd be like, there are some underlying messages that the performance is trying to convey, especially.
Yeah, okay. It doesn't matter that the fucking performance is trying to fucking send some underlying that doesn't matter. All right? The fact of the matter is the Kendrick Lamar halftime show was mid. It was mid. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great. If you compare that halftime show to multiple other artists that are black, okay? Kendrick Lamar's halftime at the Super Bowl would rank relatively low. Relatively low in the history of fucking Super Bowl halftime shows.
Kendrick Lamar performed like he was at his high school auditorium performing his favorite rap song.
All right, so you guys see it.
We do have a super chat from RZ the Legend, 199, saying Keemstar is wrong about most things. Do you have an opinion on that?
Right, wrong, or indifferent. Opinions are opinions. And I can't tell anyone their opinion is wrong unless it's just something egregious, right? Just like way out there. But, you know, that's the beauty of America. We all have opinions, and we're allowed to have those opinions. But I've gotten flack for this. I've gotten a lot of BS for this. My favorite recent, I'm going to go recent because obviously Prince is a number one. Like when he literally did Purple Rain, it started raining and thunderstorming at the same time. Like you couldn't plan that. And Prince is Prince, one of the greatest performers ever. You know, nothing will ever top him in my opinion. But for me, the greatest recent one was The Weeknd. During, when it was all shut down, I believe it was 4 years ago. The Weeknd.
Something around that.
You know, I'm a huge fan of The Weeknd. I'm also a huge fan of Kendrick Lamar. I think it was awesome. But, you know, the reason why I like The Weeknd so much is, one, he had no one else singing with him. He literally did the entire performance by himself, not counting the dancers, obviously. He had no backup vocalist. He had none of that. And the other reason why I think it was because of sorry, my ear itched. Because of like budget constraints, because of like, you know, the pandemic and all that, he put in $5 million of his own money into that show to make it as good as it was. You have to respect that. You really have to respect that. So, like when we had our wedding dance, right? When we got married, our song was Earned It by The Weeknd. That was our wedding song that we danced to. And she let me pick it, right? But, you know, obviously you have your pop stars, you have, you know, all that. People saying like the Dre and Snoop one was good. Yes, it was good for nostalgia because that's the songs that we all grew up and some of us grew up and loved. But you had like 8 people singing or rapping, right? The Weeknd did it by himself. That's the thing people they say it wasn't that good, but you have to put that into perspective, you know? He had his dancers, but all the songs were just him. So you have to, again, in my opinion, give him a couple notches. But what about you, Beans? What's your favorite halftime show?
So you're putting me on the spot here, Ken.
You damn right I am.
And I'm going to be very controversial because I don't really watch halftime shows, to be honest.
Okay. Thank you.
So so I have the mind of a goldfish. Like, I don't even remember things that I've learned during my 4 years in university. That's how bad it is. Like, I studied so hard, yet all that information just poof out of my brain. The only thing I really remember about halftime shows is that there was a halftime show where Justin Timberlake like accidentally revealed Janet Jackson.
Yeah.
I know that there was a horrible halftime show with, I think it was Adam Levine or something, where they did the SpongeBob song.
Yeah.
Sweet Victory.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm human in the sense of where humans kind of take in the most negative information and kind of forget all the positive.
Yeah.
So far, I've only been remembering all the negative halftime shows. I do remember J-Lo. J-Lo, there was a lot of controversy whenever she did the halftime show, because a lot of people were like, what is this Spanish garbage that is on my TV screen?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Prince was a pretty good one. That's a positive thing. I know a lot of people like Beyonce. I believe Beyonce did 2 halftimes, if I'm not mistaken, sort of.
I honestly don't know. I know Michael Jackson did one. That was also very good.
Michael Jackson, of course, because he's a performer, and I think I do understand where Keemstar is coming from whenever they're talking about the ability that you have as a performer really determines how you're going to do the halftime show.
Yeah.
There's a difference between doing the halftime like it's one of your regular concerts versus doing the halftime like it's an event, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think Michael Jackson and Prince really knew how to make an event, especially because they were so different and so above like other performers when it comes to just the way that they presented themselves, right?
So Anonymous in chat saying they need to bring the Puppy Bowl back. I don't know if you've seen the Puppy Bowl before.
I've seen the Puppy Bowl before, but just because I'm not really into football, I haven't seen the Puppy Bowl specifically.
It's on Animal Planet.
Oh.
Have you seen that one?
I never seen the Puppy Bowl then.
So what
I have seen sorry, real quick. One of my traditions when it's Thanksgiving time is I'll watch the Thanksgiving Day parade, and then afterwards they have like the dog show. I just love seeing all the little puppies and dogs. But continue. What's the Animal Planet like?
The Puppy Bowl, right, is so damn adorable. You got like, I think it's like 5 puppies with toys, and they do like replays and all that. And like if they take the toy and run to the other side, and it's like they score a goal. It's super cute. Like it's one of those things where it just makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside, because especially a lot when you got like just bad stuff going on in the world, or if you got like just some things going on in real life, you just sit back and watch a bunch of puppies playing, it's just, and the way they do it with the highlights and all that, it is super cute. Like I got to give it to them. That was a great idea for what people did. A lot of people were.
The Puppy Bowl is the cafe of the Super Bowl universe.
Apparently. But yeah, no, it's awesome though. Oh man, all right, let's get into some how dare we forget the awesome and the awesome Billy the Fridge, ladies and gentlemen, getting Employee of the Month. That was well deserved from Mr. Billy.
The month, winning the $1,000 cash prize, and that goes to Billy the Fridge.
Ooh, what? He would be my number 2, but yeah, Billy deserves it.
Billy the Fridge calls into every single show.
So do I.
Supports every single show, puts in a ton of effort. And Billy, I don't know if you're watching this right now, but you have won Employee of the Month, and you are getting $1,000 directly from me via Cash App or whatever as soon as possible. Congratulations, Billy. Whoever's working on the DACA team on Rewind, make sure you clip that whole segment so your boy can play it on Rewind tonight. Congratulations, Billy. You won $1,000. Okay.
I'd fucking quit if it was Becky. You better be glad it ain't fucking Becky.
Yeah, that's enough of that. So shout out to Billy the Fridge. He definitely deserves it. He came on our show yesterday and literally spent 2.5 hours with us. You know what I mean?
Something like that, yeah. Billy is just he's a kind soul. He does care about all the shows. He has an amazing ability to take anything and make a joke and run with it.
Yes.
Which I really appreciate. He can think of things on the fly. But he has been very supportive to all of us younger shows, which I really do appreciate. I did feel bad for, there was a second place and a third place. I feel personally, I guess this is the younger generation of me trying to give out participation trophies to everybody. Yeah. But I feel if you're not going to give a prize to the second and third place, then you probably shouldn't mention them, just because those people would have had that feeling of like, I was so close and so close but no cigar. That whole thing. I think Zay Zooted, I do want to give some praises to the other people that were in the running. Zay Zooted has been working so hard, and she's not even like technically a host, right? She's been going on different shows, she's been hosting different shows, and she's been doing a great job on the gaming channel, and I think that's like her new project for right now until she gets an actual show. Just going on the gaming channel and doing some games, which I think is really awesome of her to do so. And then Tina, I always see Tina in like the chat of all of the different shows, and she does a good job. And I do want to say happy early birthday to Tina. Hopefully tomorrow we can kind of make her feel better for getting second place and not first. I'm definitely gonna try to at least donate. I don't have much right now, to be honest, but anything that I can do to make Tina feel like she has a very happy birthday because she deserves it will be awesome.
Oh yeah, definitely. And we all want to feel special on our birthday, right? I mean, me, I could really care less. I'm an old man. I really don't care anymore. And my wife tries to help me feel special and make me dinner and all that, and gets me awesome gifts and take me places to like travel and all that. So I love her to death for that. I'm more of a gift giver than a gift receiver. I'd rather give the gifts, because I want to make people happy. I want to make people feel special. And a lot of times if there's something that people want, or they can't get it, or they have every reason in the world that they can't afford it, I like to try to give it to them, because if it's something that'll make them happy, I want to make them feel happy. So but yeah, it's I know some people in chat were also saying that they shouldn't have announced the third and second place. I get why he did it, because he still wanted to show some sort of recognition. Because, I mean, let's just say it was Zay Zooted, right? She's done a lot for the LCU, and she continues to, and she will continue to do it. Sometimes people don't understand just how far a simple thank you and just public acknowledgement for your hard work means to them, And I know people were saying, like, she's not even an employee. She shouldn't even be on the list. The thing is, she's done a lot, and she's been willing to drop everything she's doing to host a show on short notice. She's willing to, like, go on the gaming channel to help fund Fat Camp. You know what I mean? Like, again, she hadn't been paid a dime, so she's literally donating her time for the LCU to make it better. So, she definitely deserves her kudos for that one. But yeah, I don't know. I get what people are saying, but at the same time, public acknowledgement goes a long way with certain people. Just saying like, hey, I know you're doing a lot. I know you're donating your time. The time will come for you to have a show. We just got to find the right show for you. But everything you're doing does mean a lot,
I think that's also Keemstar is trying to do a lot of good in the LCU, and I think he's now proposing this new idea of like Employee of the Month to try to push everybody and all the hosts to push themselves in a way. He wants all the shows to interact more, go on different shows, really promote their shows on different shows, and just in general build this community up. And I think that's a very good thing that he's doing. I feel like he really does care about all the shows and all the hosts in his own special little way.
Definitely. And I know that he wants us to go on other shows, and he wants people like interacting and all that. Like, my part-time job is at night, so it's hard for me to really do that. I like when I was on Rewind, I had to move a lot of pieces in order to make Rewind work for me, and then it ended up not working out for me, but it's all good. Like, I know, kind of like when I wanted to say for Leppy, I know Nerds didn't work out for you. I know you feel some type of way about it, but you have to remain a professional at all times. You have to understand that not everything is going to work out. Like, look at what we've went through. We've said it a million times on this show with Locale Court, right? Not everything works out. Not everything is going to be the best. And shows need to evolve. Shows need to change. And like Keem said yesterday, cast members need to change sometimes. I knock on wood, nothing happens to us, because I love having you as my co-host. You know what I mean? Like, you're awesome. We have great chemistry, and we bounce off each other very well. You know what I mean? But some shows need to go through a change. Some shows need to adapt, And we're going to do what we need to do to evolve. We're going to do what we need to do to, like, for members only content, make them feel special. But again, to Leppy, I just want to say, bro, like, I know you're going through this dark period and you're going to do whatever you're going to do. But at the end of the day, just understand things happen. You'll get your time. And don't do something dumb that's going to blow up a second chance that you could get.
That's very true. I think that there's a lot of hosts in the LCU that shows that resilience of just hoping, waiting, praying, and working hard to get that second opportunity. I think Zay has been doing that. Grim, definitely. He's been working hard and in tests, just trying to figure out what he can do as a show idea, as well as, you know, proposing different show ideas for other people to get that chance as well, which I think is awesome. Anonymous in chat said Tina should get the day off for her birthday, but I know she won't do it. I think I understand Tina when it comes to, if you want to call it her being a workaholic. Whenever you love what you do, it gets addicting.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So, like, for example, my birthday is on Friday, and I want to do the show. Like, I don't want to have the day off. I feel like I would have an even suckier birthday if I didn't come on and, you know, celebrate it and enjoy it with you guys, right? So I think that Tina does feel the same way. I'm not going to speak for her, but I feel like that's like a common sentiment that a lot of hosts have. Plus, if she can make money on her birthday, hell yeah, I'd probably do it too.
One good thing I'd say for us is at least we have a morning show, so the nights are free, right? So you can, you know, wake up and do that. And I mean, there's plenty of nights I'll get home, like this morning at like 12:30 12:30 I got home from work. And, you know, like I took a shower and I was laying down. I was beat tired, man. I was tired as hell. And then, you know, I woke up a couple times at night just because sometimes I'll wake up. But, you know, when I woke up, you know, at like 8:15, I was like, I got a show to do. And I was excited because this doesn't feel like work, you know. And whenever there's like a bad like support day or whatever, I don't care because I enjoy doing this. You know what I mean? I enjoy the community. I enjoy what everyone does and what they bring. And, you know, I knew we had Dr. D coming on the show. So that reminds me, tomorrow, guys, Beans is going to host the stream. I'm still going to be here, but we have a very bad, like, some weather coming through. And sometimes my internet can cut out with bad weather. It's happened in the past. So just to be safe, Beans is going to host it because I don't want what happened to Tess with Grim. Lovey Grim, don't want that to happen. You know what I mean? So I'll be here, but she's just going to host the stream. So I just want to let everybody know that.
Man, I find this, if you want to even call it a job, but I find this very enjoyable to do. I'll definitely be here on my birthday. Unfortunately, I will have to dip at 12. I would love to do like an extended stream, just
Yep.
you know, for the birthday celebration, but I do have to dip at 12 because I do have a 2-hour meeting for my birthday by
Have
my
fun.
real job.
Have fun.
Just listening to men talk about, because I think I'm right now the only female in my company. So
Nice.
just talking to men about different supplements and sports science and fun.
Sounds like a beauty. Oh, man. Well, I mean, if there's any members that want to come in here and talk, you know, just hop in members waiting. We'll definitely, you know, give you a shout. But you know what I love? President Trump news, guys. There is not one thing in Trump news today. Not one thing.
I think you have to go through, because sometimes they like mix up, not mix it up, but like, you know, Trump news kind of goes in the other ones. So let me take a quick roll through. Yep. In international news, they're talking about how Egypt is developing a plan to rebuild Gaza, countering Trump's call to depopulate the territory. There he is. He was hiding from us in international news.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. So this is the AP. We love our AP guys here. Just kidding. I have no idea who the AP is, but, you know. Where we at? Boom. So Egypt is developing a plan to rebuild Gaza, like Bean said. Just an image. of what kind of is there. Obviously, there's only one, or there's several images. Sorry, so we're gonna go through these. Yeah, just imagine that being your home, guys, and
Devastating.
you know what I mean. It's just, it's sad.
So it says here that Egyptian officials have been discussing the plan with European diplomats as well as with the Saudi Arabia Czar and the United Arab. I never heard that word before. Have you seen this word before?
Oh, I'm going through the pictures. I'm sorry. They're showing the fans
You're
the
fine.
pictures. Yeah.
But according to the two Egyptian officials and the Arab and Western diplomats, again, very weird way of phrasing things. It says that it also calls for a Palestinian police force made up of former Palestinian Authority policemen who remained in Gaza after Hamas took over the enclave in 2007. So they're trying to get some more forces in there, and make sure that some people are safe if they're still in the territory. I also, if you're in the Discord, and if you're not, get a cash cow membership or hire to join. I told people this morning I've been having some nightmares, which is understandable. I've been having some nightmares about airplanes, crashing from the sky. And apparently there was another airplane accident recently from Delta Jet.
Oh yeah.
Apparently it flipped upside down on a snowy Toronto runway.
That's wild.
And all 80 aboard survived. At least, there's a little bit of positivity there.
So we got Reyes World and members waiting. We're going to go ahead and bring them on.
Of course.
Reyes World, what up?
Hello there.
How are you, sir?
Hey, Reyes.
Doing pretty well. How are you guys doing?
Doing
Awesome.
great. That awesome show. Had Dr. D on here for about an hour and change. Great conversation. It's always nice.
I saw. I've been loving it.
We appreciate it.
So, hey, Ken, I got a serious question for you.
What's up, bro?
Have you ever thought about actually lending your voice to like technology and stuff like that, so that way you can actually have your voice for like alarms and like GPS and stuff like that? Because I think it would be so perfect.
I mean,
like I was telling Beans yesterday, I was like, I just want like an alarm of your voice just saying, "Get up, motherfucker," and then boom, I'm up immediately.
Get up, motherfucker.
Exactly. I'm gonna clip that. I need to clip that now.
You should. Go ahead, bro. It's all yours. Nah. So I've had people say that I should do like audiobooks, or like they have things where you could like put up voice clips and they can use you for like voice acting. I've had people say that before. I just don't know how to do it. I wouldn't even know where to start. So yeah, I'd be down for it though.
Oh, I think you should so look into that. That would be amazing.
I appreciate that. Well,
but
real quick, as far as the show goes, we've been talking about the next evolution of the show. What do you think is something we could start doing to help implement for fans and everything?
I would say probably segments. Like I think you mentioned earlier about like the whole like veterans talk or something like that. Like I think that would just be a really cool segment, because just in general, because of your knowledge and your background and stuff like that, it would be like, and the segments don't have to be like, like 10 minutes or 8 minutes. It could be like an easy like 2-minute segment here, 2-minute segment here.
Okay.
Kind of like how like if you're reading like sponsorships, kind of like that, just a simple segment here and there.
Hell yeah. We'll definitely look into that. That's a great idea, actually. Just got to figure out what exactly the fans want, and we could do like a segment a week, like one topic a week or something, and just do different things. I think that'd be awesome. One thing I would actually like help with, if anyone could help, is create like 5 or 10 second little like videos for the segment to like introduce the segment. Kind of like I have like the Boomer Report, right? So when I hit the Boomer Report, it plays. You know what I mean? I think that could definitely liven the stream up a little bit.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Nobody makes Sip and Smile super duper cute. I'm going to throw a fit, because Sip and Smile is probably people's favorite segment. And I feel like Sip and Smile would be just a very cute little like sunshine rays, or like somebody drinking coffee. I don't know. It would be so adorable.
That would be, actually. I like that.
What is Sip and Smile? I'm not familiar with that.
So Oh, I forgot to preface this, Ken. So, Mr. Reyes here is actually one of our newest viewers.
Awesome.
Usually he's working during this time, but he does have a week off. And with his week off, he's been watching Cafe, which I really appreciate.
Oh, yeah.
He's been talking about this during test. But Sip and Smile News is kind of our more positive segment because, we do have to go over real life news that is kind of down in the dumps or just gory or graphic to begin with.
Yep.
So Sip and Smile is kind of our break from that, put a little bit more positivity in the news. Like, for example, today the Sip and Smile was the bakery that offers pay as you can afford bread.
Yep.
So that's a very nice thing for people who may not afford bread but need something in their bellies.
Yeah, it's just like a wholesome segment so people can leave feeling good about the world and not just hear about war and death and destruction and those things,
I feel that. That's awesome.
Yep. But nah, man, yeah, we're definitely, I know our community is small and, we're definitely trying to grow it. And we think, the interview segments will help grow it. Having some type of like organization that people can look forward to. And there's Mr. Twiggy. Hello, sir. Just,
Hello.
doing things like that will help grow the audience. So.
Oh, yeah. I definitely could see that. And like I said, the segments don't have to be small. They don't have to be large or anything like that.
Yep.
And then also, like, it could cover like anything, like without like taking away show ideas either. Like, like be like, oh, like 2 minutes into like sports and whatnot. Because I know like the Super Bowl pass and whatnot.
Yeah.
Situations like that would be beneficial.
Hell yeah.
Especially taking away from like the negative news, because obviously negative and news go hand in hand, obviously.
Yes. Cool.
So we were talking about The Sopranos earlier, and I see we have Twiggy Soprano joining us today.
Hell yeah. Cool. Well, I appreciate you, Reyes.
I told
Definitely.
you.
I appreciate you guys.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your day, bud.
All right. You too.
Ken Beans, one of my local cafes, has trivia once a week. They'll have a few people, and there's no real prize, right? There's no cash prize or anything like that. You get a free drink, right? But we could do that here. Well, you guys could do it here. I'm no part of this, right? But hear me out. You could give them a smile for the reward, because no, it would just be a little fun thing to do.
I think that would be a really fun thing to do. Why are you talking so slow, by the way? I think it would be a very
slow?
No, not at all. I think it's just a great idea how you're coming up into Cafe to give us this idea, Mr. Twiggy Soprano.
Well, I saw Ken ask, what people would, recommend. Also, it's bedtime, but I really wanted to come up. I love you guys.
Makes sense. I think that would be a really cool.
Ken.
You can't?
I cannot.
What happened?
My bad. I'm an idiot. That's what happened.
Me too, Ken. Me too.
Let me ask you something. So I saw Leppy hanging out in Aussie today when I was cooking breakfast. What is the Twigster's opinion of Dark Leppy, and where do you think this arc is going to go?
Well, Ken, I think it's fantastic. I think it's great. I really do. I think that Leppy did go through a little bit of a rough period there. He was having a hard time finding his place, and I think letting Leppy take advantage of the fact that he does have a very active imagination could be beneficial. It also gives him a way to play off of some of the hate, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to take it as seriously if you're, playing into it.
Yeah.
So I think it could help him, or if he's not careful, it could hurt him.
That's what I was saying.
Definitely.
I understand the concept, and I think it is a great concept. It's just, I don't know if he has the execution ability to do it.
He can learn.
Yeah.
He can definitely learn. There was a point in my life where I would have wanted no part in having any public criticism. I wouldn't have even wanted to put my opinions out there because of the possibility of somebody taking that and using it against me. And now I don't care. I love it. I love a challenge. And I love to step outside of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And I think once you break that barrier, you can you can do a lot of things you never thought you could do. I hosted Tech Talk. I don't know anything about tech. It got very interesting, a little inappropriate, just slightly, but it was fun. It was a good time. And I think Leppy, I think what he's doing right now is great, as I said, but I think that he could make a whole, what's the best way to put this? It could become a running gag in the community where Leppy comes in and he starts roasting people he has no business roasting. Like when he has full permission to hop into locale Aussies if he wants to talk smack.
Yep.
But he's gonna get the smack talked back to him, right?
Of
And
course.
I think that if people want to hate Leppy, he might as well give them another reason to hate him.
Definitely.
I think
And
we had a lot of fun during test because I didn't think that he would, hop into just a small show where probably like 2 people were watching, but he did jump in, and then I started just roasting the fuck out of him. It's the afternoon, so I can curse. I started roasting the fuck out of him, and then I was playing into the whole thing because Reyes had his dog in the background, and there was one moment where I told Leppy to shut the F up, and he did for like 5 minutes, and I was like, you know what? I propose a show called Locale Good Boys because you were a good boy, Leppy, for shutting up. So I think you and Benji, which is Reyes' dog, I think that would be a good show.
I definitely I'm working not with Leppy but for Leppy right now because I want to see where this goes, and if I can help along the way and help him deal with some of the negative parts of what he's doing, which there's a lot of it.
Yes.
I'd like to help because I love this stuff. I love being the bad guy. I'll switch it up occasionally. People in the Discord have been referring to me as an anti-hero, but I don't know how accurate that is.
The Deadpool of the
I just
LCU.
call you the Discord. Yeah, I just call you the Discord like crackhead, to be honest. Like I don't see you as good or bad. You're just crackhead. I was gonna say crackhead Leppy. You guys do look similar. Crackhead Twiggy.
No, Leppy looks like Thomas Crooks. I pointed out that comparison on stream the other day. I think it's a great comparison.
Karini just upgraded to Pay Pig. Thank you, Karini. That is beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Karini.
Do my shitty soundboard, Ken.
Yes.
That's one way to wake people up for the afternoon.
Ashley, I know what I think you should do for us? Sandstorm.
Ken, usually I charge a premium for this kind of thing.
What's your Cash App, sir?
No, Ken.
Oh, yeah. Can't do that. Never mind. Sorry.
You have paid me in a beneficial friendship.
I appreciate
that's all that matters.
Thank you, sir.
All right. For those who don't know, there's a little bit of an internet legend out there called Darude Sandstorm. It is a song that anybody can get down to, right? You don't even have to have legs to get down to it. Trust me. Don't ask me how I know.
I'm going to mute the background music while you do this, so go ahead, sir.
It's so much different. It's so different here. I come here and try to be serious, but I'm gonna make it happen.
Go ahead, bro.
Just a small sample. That's all you get.
Thank you, sir.
Ken, I will gladly sell you the rights to a song I don't own if you'd like. I have no issue with that.
Let's talk off stream.
We shall.
Beautiful.
So, have you guys had a relaxing morning?
Of course. This is the cafe.
It is the most relaxing place in the local universe, might I add.
The coolest, the calmest, and the chillest.
One of the only places I feel comfortable just not doing any bullshit.
That's the whole point,
great.
right? And with us doing like interview segments now, it gives the talent and host and all that somewhere they don't have to like be at 100% all the time. They can bring it down a little bit. Like I've told people when Becky came on here, that was a whole different Becky. And
that's kind of a sore subject for me right now, Ken.
I apologize. But I'm just saying it was different. It was different.
You know, I guess speaking of Becky, for those who don't know, I just came off of a bit of a drama with Becky, and it's still going. I don't know if you're familiar. I don't know.
I'm
if
not
you were
actually.
able to... Okay, so Becky tried to accuse me of faking my wife's incident. The whole story behind her not having legs.
Yeah.
She sent me an audio message out of nowhere, and I have two possible reasons as to why she did it. One is either because Tina supported our show and came through when we were told if we don't get past 500 viewers, might as well end the show, right?
Yeah.
And Tina came in clutch, and we peaked over 1,000 for concurrent, which is massive for us.
Hell yeah.
It was unbelievable. But it's either the support that Tina gave us, or the fact that I may have said that I'm one of the only people who can put Becky in her place, because every time she's called in, she's come in kind of angry, and I'll say something super weird to make her uncomfortable, and she leaves. And it's happened twice now. But I'll play the message for you just so you guys can get a little more of an understanding, if that's okay with you.
Of course. I was gonna say, our top peak concurrent is 420 viewers. That's the most we've ever gotten. So
I was there for that.
Yeah,
I was
that was awesome.
It was great.
Real quick, Justin Masters with the 5. That was the best remix of Sandstorm I've ever heard in my life.
Thank you, Justin. I've been enjoying watching your journey, watching the changes you've made in your life, and I'm very proud of you. I have never met somebody who is 4 foot tall who has done the things that you've done. I don't know if you know that, but Justin's 4 foot tall and has achieved amazing things. It's just insane.
It is beautiful.
I love getting to know the members of the community. But this is the message from Becky. Let me make sure my volume's up.
You know what, Twiggy? You are so full of shit. You use your wife for sympathy, but I have proof that you faked your wife missing her legs. I have a photo.
All right. First, I would like to point out that her grammar was not very, very well developed there.
Not at all.
Not at all. And that's shocking for Becky. Becky's usually, I mean, she has a Harvard degree, so you would think, coming from a distinguished gentleman like me, you would think that she would be a little more literate, right? And then I would like to show the picture that she has. I'm pretty sure this is the picture she has. This is a picture of me reacting to somebody from my personal server. And if you look in the background, my wife has legs.
Got it.
That's her evidence. But Becky also knows that the accident happened after my wedding during my honeymoon. So that picture's from my wedding. Before the wedding, actually. That was pre-wedding pictures from the rehearsal.
Yep.
So this proven right there. Now, I'm not going to get into my wife's private life. I'm not going to get into her private details because she wants no part of this. She's a viewer, right?
Yeah.
A matter of fact, she's actually watched an episode of Local Cafe, and she enjoyed it. She just can't really watch it while she's working because,
of course,
one of the things that's important to her is working because it's something she can do to keep her busy, for one. Two, it's something she didn't think she would be able to go back to doing after everything that happened.
Yeah.
So I'm going to basically offer Becky a solution, and I'm going to make it real quick, real simple. I am going to offer Becky a truce, right? And my conditions are, she just ends the whole Beckstoff stuff. She's bothering my co-host. I don't like that. And, I mean, you guys know this. You got to stick together.
Yep.
And if she doesn't, I have been kindling a friendship with Review Tech USA, and I'm sure I can get something on her.
All right.
So,
Becky, if you're watching, hop in so y'all can talk about this. But AshXO asked what happened. Not going into crazy details. Twiggy's wife was in an accident, unfortunate, and she no longer has legs, so she's wheelchair bound. That's basically what happened. In a nutshell, that's what happened. If you want to go into more detail, you can. Obviously, I'm not asking you to, but just answering the question.
So we got married in Mexico, and we got married on a resort in Mexico, and after the wedding, we had our honeymoon in another country. I'm not going to go into too many details about the country because I don't know what's out there. I don't know what details you'll be able to find, and I don't want to invade her privacy.
No.
But there was an incident on an escalator that had not been inspected for 8 years. It had a fake certificate of inspection, which is apparently something that's common in some areas that don't have as much, public funds to help with that kind of thing.
Yep.
And it pulled her pant leg into it, and you can kind of assume what happened from there. Now, legally, we were taken care of, which is actually very shocking considering, where it happened. Yeah. But everything's fine there. I don't want sympathy from this because there's a lot of blessings that have come from this. So anybody who's trying to sympathize, I do not want that. I actually prefer people make jokes about it, and we just make light of it because that's the way she goes about it. That's, I guess, her coping mechanism. I don't know, right? But we're fine. It's been a little while since that happened, and if anything, it's made us grow closer together.
Oh yeah.
So
good.
So and she's been able to help people who have been through some similar things, help them kind of deal with it. So yeah. So I have no issue really talking about it. I just don't want to go into too much detail.
Nah, dude, and like I said, spouses are off limits. Like my wife will probably never be on camera because I want that separate from this, right? I'll talk about her and all that. She's been in the chat talking to people and all that, but probably never put her on camera because.
Well, yeah, because at the end of the day, if you ever get in a situation, or like me, I'm constantly getting myself into trouble.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you can turn the device off, and then you can go to your personal life. But once it starts to affect your personal life, it becomes very hard to separate the two. And yeah, it's a pain in the butt. Also, for those wondering why I'm not speaking in an Australian accent, I live in the US. I have for years now. And this is basically how I talk in my daily life. Unless I'm around like family members when they visit and it just kind of switches back. Or anytime I'm in a conversation with Rastov, it comes out. Or
it's
like
natural.
Heck in the chat, Mafsy, it's kind of like hanging out with your really southern friends.
Yeah, trust me, I get it.
And then the southern twang starts to come out. I know you get it.
Oh yeah. It was actually funny when I was in California meeting her family. She was like, "You're gonna meet my aunt. She can be kind of a pain in the ass. I'm just telling you up front." And I looked at her and I said, "Don't worry about it, babe. I'm gonna butter her up like a piece of toast." Bro, she laughed so hard. She's like, "Is that right, Ken? You gonna butter her up like a piece of toast, Ken?" And it was just kind of funny. So
no, my first date with my wife, I took her to a pumpkin festival for Halloween.
Okay.
I had planned it out for 2 weeks, and then by the time we got to the pumpkin festival, they had packed up and left. So it was very awkward. Great first date. If she can deal with me after that, I know she's the one, right?
Definitely.
Luna L. Faye says, "Twiggy, please tell me you call your wife Hot Wheels."
That's
I haven't thought of that.
Yeah. Community Cargo in the chat just said, "Plot twist: Beans and Grim are brother and sister, and Beans is Ken's wife."
I'm from Florida, not Alabama.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
we don't do that. We don't do that. I just thought it was funny though. But you have a naysayer in the chat, Recovery Gamer Twiggy, that's not believing a word you just said. So
let me find that real quick.
That's just horrible that people are coming after your wife when she can't really stand for herself.
Yeah,
terrible.
The statement's not really too valid because the minute something stops working, they're just gonna send in some random guy who works for them to get it in operating order to save money. Also, you're a gray name. I don't respond to gray names. I'll give you this one, bud. Only because you were telling your story earlier in the chat, and I have a lot of respect for what you've done, the amount, like how far you've come in your journey. That's what my wife does for a living. She does substance prevention.
Awesome.
So like I'm trained in Narcan. I carry it everywhere I go. Just because you never know what kind of situations you're gonna run into, and it can be a matter of life and death. And I always want to see people succeed.
He just said, Google escalator casualties.
Well, it wasn't a casualty because she lived. So
okay,
so
Recovery Gamer. Let me defend
so
Twiggy
fucked up,
here a
bro.
little bit. Zero reported. This was in Mexico. You really think that they're going to report this in a
it wasn't in
tourist
Mexico.
area?
It was in an island country.
Even worse. They don't have regulations and rules over there.
That just made me laugh. I'm sorry.
No, I think it's hilarious. Whenever I come on here, this show is a challenge to me because I have to act as calm and collected as I can.
I know.
That's why I love coming in.
Oh man, I'm getting delirious. I know I'm tired. I'm getting delirious. So, all right.
Because, ladies and gentlemen, before I go, I just want you to know this is not how I normally am. This is something special that I saved for Ken and Beans.
Fuck my life, Twiggy. I can't.
Oh, I know. Dude, the best part, what like if Keem ever has like another 4th of July party where he invites all of the hosts, Donut Lord for $1.99.
That's
My
what I'm rooting
GF
for.
wheelchair bound too. Let's have them joust. I feel like we could monetize that.
Fuck my life.
That's very, very monetizable.
Live on Cafe, women in wheelchairs jousting.
You know
Oh,
what?
God.
If that ever happened, I would save it for Cafe. We'd need a nice early morning slot. Unfortunately, I'm never gonna involve her with any of this.
No, you
And somebody
shouldn't.
said just take a picture of her legs, right?
We're not doing that either.
No, that's violating her privacy, right? You guys are lucky if I ever show a wheelchair, honestly.
Yeah.
Because the only reason that's even public is because you know this, Ken. I talked about it like whenever I first started opening up about stuff in the
Oh, yeah.
Discord. 'Cause
I
people
remember
were
that.
asking me all kinds of questions about my relationship. People didn't believe I was married, and people started asking all kinds of like different details. And I accidentally slipped up at one time and mentioned something that would be a little out of the ordinary for the normal daily life.
Yeah.
So then I basically just had to come out and say it because it was awkward. And I have been dealing with the repercussions ever since.
There it is. We appreciate your time, sir. You need to go to bed.
Of course.
We need to end the
Yes,
show
do.
because I think Beans has to go to work. So.
Oh, I'm unemployed.
No, you're not. You're on Locale Aussie.
That's not as fun to say, but yes, I am. I'm on Locale Aussie. I guess I'll plug it. Check it out. The YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You'll never guess the name. Locale Aussie. I love you, Ken.
If you look in the description, you'll see the thing in there. You can click on it and check them out. So yeah, we love you here, Twiggy. You're always
We have an alliance. Ken and Beans.
smaller channels. Smaller channels are sticking together.
Mm-hmm. And even if one of us makes it and the other one doesn't, unless something funny happens where we can throw each other under the bus and make really good money off of it, we're always going to be this way.
Never going to happen.
You guys are welcome to drop into Locale Aussie anytime you want. Ken told me to if I want to come on, just drop in.
Yes.
Same goes for you.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. Take care, bud.
Stop yapping.
We have our newest pay pig in Pay Pig waiting. We'll check her out real quick.
Hell yeah, I love Karini.
Karini, what up?
Hello.
How are you, ma'am?
Hello.
I'm good.
Thank you for being
First
our
time calling
newest.
in.
Thank you for being our newest pay pig. That's beautiful. We definitely appreciate the support. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I love Beans. Beans is my favorite. And Dead Score loves Ken, so we like to watch you guys all the time.
We appreciate that. Thank you. So, how was your birthday? Wasn't your birthday recently or close?
Yeah, it was Sunday. It snowed here where I'm at, so we didn't get to go out, but me and Dead Score went out Saturday and
Nice.
walked around and did some stuff. Yep.
That's beautiful. Definitely happy to hear that.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, all going well?
It's going great. You guys are my favorite show. I'm so glad to be on here.
We appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Karini.
Real quick, just
Yeah.
wanted to ask you just some suggestions. You know, being the latest pay pig and all, what do you want to see how the show evolving, and what kind of changes you think would help us out some?
Oh, I do like that idea Twiggy had just earlier. I think that's a good idea. The trivia, you know, getting people to come in and have conversations with you guys in the Discord. I think that will be more engaging and get people to really want to open up. I mean, I know I'm a lurker in the Discord. I don't really talk that much. I just like to sit and watch. And
tell people
it's kind of nerve-wracking for people to come up here sometimes. So having two hosts that are going to engage with them and have conversations with them really makes it easier.
So that's the whole thing, right? And that's why we want to be a little bit different than the rest of the shows. If people want to come up and talk, they know they're not going to deal with, you know, drama and all that. You know, we're trying to be cool, calm, and chill, right? One thing I will say though, just real quick, in your opinion, is the monthly for just the Discord entertainment alone, is it worth it?
Just for the Discord entertainment? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's so much going on in there that the shows talk about, and it's kind of hard to really express it without being in the Discord, like giving all the backstory. It can be a little difficult, you know, so being in there, and Instant Karma says they're scared of the Discord. There's no reason to be scared, right? Like, just as long as you don't
protect you.
There you go.
Absolutely not. And like I said, I'm a lurker, so you can just come in and lurk and meet everybody being
Oh.
silly and stupid.
Keemstar, ladies and gentlemen. How are you, sir?
Afternoon. I was going to say good morning. Good afternoon, Keemstar.
I'm fucking wireless.
Uh-oh. Let's go.
We're getting an exclusive tour of Keemstar's house. Breaking
There
news.
we are. What's up, Brantley?
Brantley's on her throne.
Oh, yeah.
I have some beef
Oh,
with
yeah.
You're really getting a freaking tour.
That's
oh my
awesome.
goodness.
What you got beef with, Karini?
I got some beef with Team. Every time I donate, he calls me like Courtney or Karini or.
We see ourselves. That's awesome.
Hi, Tiny Beans.
There goes Skip.
Okay.
Oh,
Some of the
yeah.
equipment that he was talking about.
Oh, yeah. Snow.
Oh, goodness.
That's awesome.
I'm going to get a little bit of motion sickness over here.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm feeling that, yeah.
How are you,
He's
sir?
testing out some equipment. I think that's what's going on.
I'm testing out equipment for Fat Camp. I am completely wireless. I'm transferring straight up HDMI signal. Like, bro, dude, we're going to be able to run all around Fat Camp, and we're going to be able to broadcast wirelessly.
That's beautiful.
Hell yeah.
That is awesome. So, yeah, Miss Karini says she got a little bit of beef with you because every time she donates, you call her not her name.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I thought it was
Oh,
funny.
yeah. I think one time I donated while you guys were cleaning up Fat Camp, you and Brantley, and I said how much I love Brantley, and you called me Courtney. And I'm like, you can't, there's no T in the name, Team. Like, where do you even get that?
Well, I apologize for that. Well, thank you for being a supporter and supporting the Local Live universe. Like, you're important. Thanks. Thanks, Courtney.
She just became a pay pig.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Courtney the Pay Pig. Hey.
I'm also a pay pig for Local Live.
Ooh,
oh,
there
goodness.
we go.
Corinne Roo, thank you so much.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Dollar
Yeah.
bills, yo.
There it is. So, cool. Well, guys, we can look forward to Fat Camp now because we see we got the wireless stuff going on, and I felt a little good. We're on the big screen at Keem's house, and Brantley's watching us. That was kind of cool. That made me feel special a little bit, just a little bit.
I love Brantley.
Oh yeah,
She's such a sweetheart. I can't wait to meet her in person.
Yeah,
and hopefully Tina goes. I know that a lot of people are saying that they're not going to go just because of the rooming arrangements, but hopefully I get to see a lot of people because I feel like that would be a really cool thing.
Yeah, getting everybody together. Yeah, it's definitely cool.
But Karini, you are now our pay pig. I know that you're probably, or Dead Score is probably excited about the whole Cooking with Ken segment. But do you have any ideas what I could do for members only? Because I know that you like me more than Dead Score. Like, I don't know how to say it. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten anything today.
Well, I would love to know more what interests you, Beans, because I feel like once we know what more interests you, we could kind of work around what you could do for members only, you know?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Like for me,
I was thinking of having like a little tea segment, to be honest, because I don't know that people know about like I forgot, I haven't looked into it in so long. I think it's gawan, but it's basically like traditional tea ceremony. I think that would be like a really cool thing, just like dim the lights and do a little tea ceremony and just like have like an even more chill, relaxing environment. It could be like a nighttime thing to let people unwind. That would be pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I like the nighttime mean beans, you know? I don't think it's good for the nighttime.
That's true.
Beans behind the scenes. That's awesome. Cool. All right. Well, Miss Karini, we'll go ahead and end the show here because, Miss Beans needs to go to work and all that. And we had Mr. Keem hop on. That was awesome, testing stuff out.
Sounds good. I'm actually
you.
about to end my lunch break anyway. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being our latest pay pig. That is beautiful. We really do appreciate the support. Thank you very much.
Yeah, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. She's so adorable. Why do we have to have all the adorable members?
Hey, that's good, though. Shows that our show attracts the very beautiful people.
I just want to put like all the little cafe members in my pocket and like carry them around everywhere.
That's awesome. Cool. Well, thanks for coming on the show, everybody. Thank you to Dr. D for hanging out with us for a little over an hour. That was awesome. Thank you for the support, guys, the memberships and all that. Greatly appreciated. See you guys tomorrow. Remember, Miss Beans will be your host tomorrow, just in case my internet shits the bed, because I can cuss afternoon now. But yeah, guys, we love you. Love you to death, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Any last words, Miss Beans?
I'm hungry.
Take care, everybody. Good morning, y'all. It's Rise and Shine. Grab your coffee cup. Come spend some time. I know it's early, the start of a new day. No need to worry, it's Local Cafe. Rise and shine, baby. Wake and bake. Clear out your mind, baby. Just take a break. Local Cafe. Chill out with us today. All right, guys, we love you. Y'all take care. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.